So I live in North Texas, and I've kind of trained myself to not answer the door to strangers, not because of any dangerous reasons, no, but because we get a lot of solicitors. You know, people trying to sell either like roofing shit. I don't know if this is a North Texas thing. It just happens a lot here, but it's just a bunch of people trying to sell me shit. Bug insecticide, fucking pest insecticide, fucking roofing shit. But for this story, it involves hail. We had a hailstorm a couple weeks ago, and my car has a lot of dents on it. And I've been pretty good at ignoring all of the like middle-aged men that come to my door until Thursday. Thursday, it was pretty late. I want to say like the sun was setting, so it was around like 5:30 to 6 o'clock. And I'm in my room. I'm working on videos. I hear the doorbell ring. I walk over because I'm like, who the fuck could ever be at my house at this hour, right? I look through, you know how doors have the little glass you can look through, see outside. I'm looking through the little glass, put my head up to it, and I see a fine woman there, right? And my brother was behind me. I tell them, Shh, get the fuck away from me. All right, let me do what I gotta do. All right, I thought it was gonna be one of my neighbors. It's either asking for something or literally anything, right? I thought it was a hot neighbor and I was about to make some plays. I thought I was being put on the court. I opened the door and she's talking to me about the hail damage on my car. Today I want to talk about um I don't know. I was pretty upset. You know, I was it was a pretty nasty bait and switch, you know. It was a pretty disgusting bait and switch because if it was like a dude at the door, I'm not answering that. Fuck no. But it was a pretty lady. You gotta answer the door to a pretty lady. Come on now, it's just what you do. You know, I think if a lot more places hired young women my age, like 20, 21, 22, hired women my age to sell stuff, I feel like everyone would be poor out of the fact that they'd be buying everything that they're selling. Which confuses me as to why Hooters is going out of business, but that's a different thing. I guess what I want to talk about is kind of how awful it is and how easy it is to be persuaded into things just because a pretty lady's asking me to do it. You know, I'm gonna branch off really hard in a minute, but let's go off what I'm saying right now. If a pretty lady were to ask me to do something, either like she asked me for a favor or she just wants to talk, oh, I'm probably gonna listen to her. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna hear her out and listen to what she has to say. You know, I don't know. I don't know if that's just because I'm a guy and my brain is like literally hardwired to do that, but it is something of note. You know, because the more I think about it, the more I was just in that moment with that sales lady, thinking like I wasn't even talking about. I wasn't thinking about any of the hail damage. My little dog ran out to her car and she was like, "Oh, it looks like the doggy wants to go home with me." And I'm like, "Baby, me too. Play your cards right, me too. You know, fuck." Like I was totally not even thinking about the hail damage, you know? And what's crazy is I was so ready to buy what she was selling. She was gonna sell me like $7,000 worth of repairs before insurance. I was like, holy fuck, sign me up. But I think it's so, I don't want to say predatory, but the concept of a hot woman coming to my door and standing at my door and ringing the doorbell and knocking on the door, I feel like that's like there's no way I don't open that door, you know? I have to do it. I feel like I'm societally obligated to open that door. Here is I'm gonna hit that tangent I'm gonna say now. I see a lot of people, I see a lot of men my age who spend a lot of money on OnlyFans girls. Yeah, it was a weird tangent. I've seen a lot of dudes my age spend a lot of money on OnlyFans girls in the hopes that anything will be reciprocated. And I think what I'm saying I'm off the, this is all dumber. I think what I'm saying connects to the concept of like a hot woman trying to sell me something, you know? Obviously, I wasn't, obviously, I know I was not expecting anything to be reciprocated with that woman at my door. I understand she's doing her job, and I frankly wanted to play more Overwatch. If that's my character. Yes, I love that a hot woman was talking to me. I wanted to play Overwatch. That's me. But I think it's kind of insane how, yeah, no, this is the time to use it. How predatory it is, how a lot of young women are able to just pull money out of out of these guys' pockets. And like no hate to the women. I mean, get your bag. Like get your bag. Honestly, it's really sad that these dudes are shelling out money for you. You know, that's more shame is on the men in this situation. But I think it's just really weird how easy it is. You know, like obviously I would never pay. I'm not paying for porn. I'm not even like, you know, no, right? No. But if a hot woman were to like talk to me and throughout our conversation she would like ask me for money, I'd like probably be more inclined to give her money. You know, maybe you know what I'm saying? I think it's so insane how easily seduced a lot of men are, you know, especially online, especially in that OnlyFans space. You know, I don't know if I've talked about it here, but I talked about it on one of my TikTok accounts about how the worlds of OnlyFans girls and like TikTok, like OnlyFans girls and TikTok slash like Instagram comedians are like so intertwined, like so intertwined that it's very easy to lure in more susceptible, I'm gonna keep using men for this because yeah, how more easily susceptible men to indulge in that kind of space and indulge in that, you know, like I just think it's so easy, you know, it's really easy to, I mean, if you're hot, to seduce a lot of men into doing what you want. Because again, when that woman was talking to me about my hail damage, I did not, dude. I was like, I was just looking at her face. I was like, damn. I was like, you're pretty. Keep talking about my car. You're pretty. You know, I was trying not to fucking cheese it up, but I don't know. What I'm trying to say with this video is that uh, men are or can be easily persuaded to do what you want if you're pretty enough. That's a horrible message. Um, I think it's really I think it's really crazy how easy you can manipulate your consumer base just based off your looks, you know? And again, and this could really apply to me as well, which now we're gonna do a little self glazing. I've been able to pull in a lot more female and like yeah, a lot more female and queer viewership just because of how I look, you know? And part of it has to do with my personality, but part of it has to do with this. This is fucking stupid, but you get my point. Looks, your appearance can really pull you a lot further than you think, which is kind of an insane thing to think about in terms of your merit and your skill set and your integrity, because a lot of people base themselves off of that. They say, well, maybe I don't look the best, but I am committed, I am like disciplined, I am reliable. But a lot of the time, if you don't if you don't look a certain way, you're probably going to have a hard. You're already setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to deal with a lot more resilience towards what you're trying to sell or do or whatever. I don't know. This video was stupid. I had nothing to talk about. I really just wanted to talk about that pretty lady who was selling me hail repairment damage or something. She was really pretty. Her name was like Lizeth. She was nice. Thank you. End communication.